Buongiorno, pilgrims. I'm here in Pontassieve, stage 2 of the journey, the Camino di Francesco, leaving at 7 a.m. sharp. We're heading today to Consuma, 18 kilometers. As you can see here, this is the Arno River, which we're gonna be saying goodbye to for the next couple of days. Why? Because we have a massive climb today. We're gaining about 1,000 meters of elevation to Consuma, going over this mountain, and then one day on the way down. So I just stopped by a bakery to get some supplies. So in combination with what I bought yesterday at the supermarket, I have everything that I need. And maybe a little bit more, but there's nothing on today's stage, so you better be prepared. I also had my cappuccino at a coffee shop or a bar, as the usual. And I just cannot wait to get started. If you can see, the sun is already out. The sunrise is like at 5:45. So I had to work out my morning routine so that I can leave at least at 6 just to avoid the afternoon, heat. So, andiamo. Let's do it. Now I think this is the perfect timing, of course, as we leave town and we start our ascent, to talk about accommodations. Yesterday I stayed at Lorenzo's room at a B&B that I found on bookings.com when I was getting ready about a week ago to head over here. I secure it. That's what I like about bookings.com, that once you book it, that's it, you're locked. Then I started sending emails to today's accommodation. Did not get a reply, went on the Facebook forums, and finally I figured out that the list was just outdated. So I called the new number, called and called, no replies. And then yesterday around noon, the lady called me. She speaks English, by the way. So I have today's accommodation locked, and I booked tomorrow's on bookings.com. So today I will be staying at what would be considered like an albergue, kind of like on the Camino Frances, which is gonna help bring the cost down, because yesterday was like 50 euros, tomorrow is like 40, and if you multiply that by 30 days, it's gonna be quite an expensive bill for the Camino. So I'm gonna try to mix it up. Whenever I can stay at monasteries or albergues, I will certainly do so, because there's where you're gonna meet the other pilgrims. Now about that climb, let's go for it. Now, as you have guessed by now, today is gonna be one of those days when we're just walking on a backcountry road, but I don't mind it, because just look at the views, look at the setting. We have a castle in the background, Castello Niposano. So yes, vineyards, we got the olive groves, we got the forest, we got clear skies. Yes, we're on a backcountry road, but up ahead, not far from here, we're gonna enter the forest that we're gonna be following for the next few stages. So Efren, why does it take a month to do the Camino di Francescos? I mean, when I walked the Via Francigena, just the Italian section, it took me 40 days, and I think it's like twice the distance of what I'm walking right now. Well, there are a few reasons for that. The first one is we're in the mountains. We're gonna be here the majority of the time. A 1,000 meter climb followed by a 500 meter descent is gonna be the norm. When I was doing the Via Francigena, it was mostly flat in the Po Valley, and then once we made it to Tuscany, it was the Tuscan hills for the majority of the time. Also, by the time I made it here in the Via Francigena, I had already been walking 40 days in France. I had a trolley, so I was carrying less weight. So I have my trail legs as well. Also, when they do the stages here in the Camino di Francesco, they try to do them so that you always end up at a place that has multiple choices for accommodations. The support here is not as great as when you're walking the Via Francigena, where you go through 1,000 small towns where they have bars and restaurants and supermarkets. So here everything is more scarce and far in between. Most of the stages that I'm doing here are below 20 kilometers per day, which I think is ideal for me because since I take my time out here filming, getting my drone shots, having to set up this camera on this massive stabilizer, you know, it helps to take my time. I think break time is over. Let's continue. Guys, made it to the only bar in town, and to my surprise, the minute I stepped in, I'm trying to talk to the bartender and the guy goes, Efren, and I'm like, what is going on? There's also a guy behind me, Luca, and he also knows me. So this town has a few things. It has a small supermarket, it has this bar, there's a post office, and there's a water fountain at the entrance. So this might be the last chance for you to resupply. There's also a B&B right here behind me, so maybe, who knows, you can stay here. It's been a steady climb, climbing all the way up here to the top. I think we're like in a little plateau, but not for too long because I see a few switchbacks coming up ahead all the way to the top. It's like 9:30 in the morning, so I can't have lunch here. I think lunch is gonna be all the supplies that I bought yesterday at the supermarket. For now, I'm just gonna enjoy my macchiato. Did I forget the acqua frizzante? My drink of choice here in Italy. Sparkling water. So after doing a little bit of digging, actually Luca came back, we got to sit down and talk for a while. I found out that he's married to Elena, the lady that I spoke to yesterday about the place where I'm staying today. So between the two of them, they run the Albergue, you might say, and he was so kind that he actually paid for my snack/brunch. So thank you so much, Luca. We're gonna meet up this afternoon. They're gonna do a communal dinner because there's 3 other pilgrims over there staying tonight, 3 Italians that are going in the opposite direction. I guess they're about to end their trip. And there's also a German that I might get to walk with him in the days ahead. There's a few places there to resupply for tomorrow because tomorrow is even worse than today. But the best thing about it is that the one bar/bakery opens at 6 in the morning. So tomorrow I'm gonna walk early. I got 4 hours to go, or so they say. Let's go for it. So I'm right next to this gorgeous little castle here, and I just came across this water fountain which is right behind me. And as you can see, you're not supposed to drink water from there because it's not treated, but luckily for me, I came prepared. So I brought with me this Catadine Be-Free water filter, which I will be using in case like this, in case I'm out of water. So it comes in handy, doesn't weigh anything, and it filters, I think, like 1,000 liters of water. I'm not even close there. Little picnic area here, facing this house by the road, enjoying my focaccia, which I think has ham and cheese in it. Letting my gear kind of like dry a little bit from all the sweating. It's already noon and it's hot, of course it is. I wish I had some red wine with me, but this is not the Via Podienses by a long shot. I'm carrying a lot of weight, so there's very little space left for food. Well, after crossing that bridge, which was impressive, we are finally in my element. We are in the forest, and I think we're gonna stay here for the remaining of the day. We're going up, up, and up through some rough terrain, but it's not bad. Still got about an hour, maybe two, depending on how much I film, until I make it to today's destination. Oh my God, we're climbing all right. I think when they mentioned that this stage was hard, they were referring to this section right here. From that bridge all the way to the top, it's just been switchbacks and just a steady climb. But it is gorgeous, man. This forest is out of this world, and it's only gonna get better once we enter the national park. But it's steep. I mean, as always, you can't tell from the video, but it's a steep climb. All right, break is over. Let's go. Alright guys, I have a bone to pick when it comes to the signs here. As you can see, there's plenty of signs to go around, and usually if I'm checking with my GPS tracks, I always find an inconsistency. Like right now, I just made it to the road, car, and I see that the sign tells me that I should go in that direction right next to that house. But when I check my GPS tracks, you know, that's taking me away from Consuma, where I'm heading today. And then I see here that the GR or the Via di Francesco is telling me to go again in that direction, of course. So now I'm thinking, what's going on? But then when I look at the road, not far away, I can see another sign that says, follow the road in that direction. So even if you don't use GPS tracks, I think you need them here just to double check that they don't send you on a tangent or an alternative route as it happened to me yesterday. So enough with the GPS. Let's continue. I think we're not far away, about half an hour from Consuma. So I finally made it to the Albergue where I'm staying tonight, and I have this entire room all to myself with a very peculiar fan over here. Very nice looking. Today was a long day, I'm not gonna lie. That last section was tough. It was climbing through the forest, and it made me rethink all the gear that I brought. Not for this trip. For this trip I think I can handle it, but especially in Corsica and the Tour de Mont Blanc, I may have to dish a few things when I get there. So long day, 5.5 hours. I left at 7 a.m. and I got here at 3:20 in the afternoon. Climbed 1,000 meters, 19.5 kilometers, and I got lost just a little bit. I kept walking down the road and I missed the turn, but not to worry. I mean, as soon as I kept going around, it rejoined the Camino. The last stretch into town, I was walking next to a very narrow shoulder, and at some points it would just completely disappear until you make it into this little village at the top of the mountain where there's really not much to do up here, but I'm right next to the church. So I'm gonna go ahead and take a shower, wash my clothes, there's plenty of sun, and then go visit the church and maybe go to the viewpoint and maybe have a beer there. I think I've earned it today. So here we are in Paso de la Consuma, where I came with Luca. He invited me to have a beer at this and enjoy the views from the pass, and just telling me a little bit of the story of the area of St. Francis. I think he's like the president of the association here in the area, so great help all around.
I love pilgrims from, I think, all over the world, I hope. And my name is Luca. My full name is Luca Piantini. I'm an Italian, you know. And I'm actually the president of the Association of the St. Francis Walkers. It means an association that try to take care about the people that want to walk in a wonderful track that is starting from Florence, and it arrives in Assisi, passing from the Apennines, and the place where we are now, actually. You can see in my background the mountains where I live, and where St. Francis passed several times. So this is the walking that St. Francis make to come from Assisi to Laverna to Florence, and starting from this, and then from the quality of the nature that is, for me, it's one of the best that I know, of course. We decided to organize this walking. And nowadays, the walking, it takes from Florence to Assisi and then to Rome, 28 days, passing from the part of Italy that maybe is less known if you compare with all the other normal landscapes that you can imagine connected with Italy. So you are walking inside the heart, the backbones of Italy, that is the Apennine. There is plenty of forests, wild animals, monasteries, and a great spirituality. And what I say is that even if you don't believe in God, you can believe in Saint Francis, or Francis as you like, because the name of the walking is the walking of Saint Francis, of Francis, because Francis was the friend of peace, nature, and man, and maybe also of God in his eyes. But the three first things that I think are very modern, and it's a great experience that I hope that you will want to do. And in this case, we will try to help you for everything, and not as a tourist, of course, as pilgrims, as walkers, as people that want to make experience in their life. So all the best, and hope to see you in St. Francis walking. Goodbye.
I also met the owner of this bar that they have up here. It's been in business for like the last 30 years, and he brought a plate full of bread with cheese and, I mean, you name it, just delicious all around. And just here enjoying the views right now because it is just gorgeous. I already took the shower, did laundry. I did the clothes that I was wearing today and yesterday's, because yesterday's, even though they dry, they kind of stank a little bit. So I did it for a second round. So as you can see, I have my clothes here drying up. Almost there, but I think I have plenty of sunlight. Another thing that Luca did for me, which I really appreciated, is that he called ahead for the day after tomorrow. There's a monastery there that I wanted to get in, but unfortunately it is full. But they managed to accommodate me right next door. There's like a camping ground, and there's like a little, I'll save that for later. That's the day after tomorrow. 7 p.m. is dinner. Pilgrims are showing up. There are 2 that are going in the other direction, and then there's a German, and I think more are coming. So it's gonna be a special night tonight. Well guys, here we are in my room after having an amazing dinner, communal dinner. It's getting dark outside. My clothes did not get a chance to completely dry at 100%, but I think maybe overnight, if not tomorrow, in the back of my backpack. Incredible dinner. Let me open this up. Incredible dinner with pilgrims. It was 2 Germans, 2 Italians, and this guy over here. Did not want to film because we were just having such a nice time, a special time talking about everything. But yes, we had a massive meal, you know, cheese, soups, pork, wine, all you can drink, as always, on any pilgrimage. And yeah, that's it for today. I want to thank, of course, Luca. He's going to be the trail angel of the day just because of his hospitality. Tomorrow, he wants us to pass by his village, and he's going to show me something very, very special, which I will tell you guys, of course, tomorrow. See you then. You can see the moon over there.